Hello, everybody. My name is Dino. I'll be your host and moderator for this event. And without further ado, let me introduce you to your trainer for today, Phil Boone. Phil is a product specialist at Maintenance Care, and he will guide you through this webinar. I will shut myself off. Phil, take it over.
Thank you, Dino, for the intro. Welcome everyone. Happy Wednesday, halfway through. Today we're gonna do kind of focus on asset management within maintenance care. That's one of what I call our big three modules. You've got your easy work order system with your preventative maintenance, and those all really tie to the asset themselves. So the work that we're doing on the equipment throughout the facilities, what we're able to capture is actually that work itself. Put some costing behind it, have some parts included as well. So assets would be located in your cabinet tab. Okay. Every single one of you would have a upload that should have or can still happen with your account. So we do an initial upload for you of all of your assets. If that is something that hasn't been done yet, you can reach out to our support team. They're going to be able to provide you with a template that you're going to be able to provide back, and we would input into the system for you. Once they're in there, we also can add one by one. So as we're scaling, as you're growing, you're able to add as well. I just want to cover for those people that haven't had that upload, the template is going to be sent to you with some examples to hopefully help you out. It does capture a lot of different fields. Not all of them are mandatory. You'll have a couple guidelines to follow. So an asterisk in each one would mean that it's a mandatory field. The header above it is showing the character limit within the description. So you have 120 characters for that, or in make you have 30. Okay. Hopefully the examples that are laid out for you are self-explanatory and you'll be able to do that and fill it out and provide it back. But again, if there are any questions with this, you are able to contact our support team. And again, they can provide that template. Now, for people that have had that bulk upload and want to add, you are able to add as well. Very similar. What my suggestion is to always follow the same naming convention. So that's the coding. So for mine, I have a fake vineyard. It's called Boone Estates, and I have my coding as BEM, meaning Boone Estates Maintenance. Okay. I typically have a dash, which then represents the next asset. So let's just do forklift today. And then if there are more than one asset, I like to throw a little number beside it. So 001, 003, whatever that may be. All right. Facility is in reference to your license. Now, you see there's three options here for me. That means I have multiple licenses. For most, there's only going to be one selection for you, and that would isolate it in that license. Classification, these are something that can generalize assets themselves. So if you have a lot of HVAC units, you would want to give it the same classification. These are things that you can add into the system prior to. Okay, so for mine, let's go with general equipment. The description, this is a great place to put as much information as you want. It's another column within your asset list in the background here. So if we want to say what type it is, Husqvarna today. That's a really bad spelling attempt, but we'll just go with it. Date purchased, if you don't remember it, try and ballpark figure it because it is kind of playing into a factor of when you should replace it, right? Based off a warranty, if there is one on there. If you wanted to record the vendor that you bought for it, again, this is something added prior to. You can always add to these after. These are not set in stone. The only item that is your asset code itself. So if you make this asset and you don't like this code, we're going to have to delete it or inactivate it and recreate. Okay. Make and model can be added as well. I'm not even going to try and attempt how I spelt it. I'll just do it like this. You throw your model numbers in and then your serial numbers as well, even a location and a unit cost. Okay. Once that's saved, it's going to be pushed into the system. Okay. And now if I were to go back to my assets, we can find our forklift with the 003 added at the bottom. Now, I'm going to go to one of my previous ones just because I have a little bit more information in there, and I'm going to go to a fridge. Okay. The more information that you have input into this system, the more ability you are going to be able to extract and report it. Okay. If we have our unit costs and we add a couple more items like a salvage year, useful years, right? We can start getting replacement costs with inflation rates immediately. You'll have access to straight line depreciation as well. Now, once these assets are input into the system, how we gather the history, how we comprise a lot of the reports is basing the asset, attaching it to a preventative maintenance and or a work order, so a reactive work order. For preventative maintenance, those are things that are set up in your system that automatically trigger. So in the template, you add the asset. That means it gets attached automatically for you. For reactive work orders, I will show an example of how to attach it with one extra step. So for my light is out, every work order has a transaction tab. The first item is going to be an asset code. This is where you're able to type it in if it is not there. Again, if it's a preventative maintenance, it will be triggered with it attached. Once you have your asset attached, you're then able to add some extra parts if you wanted. If we utilize that module, bring these parts over, start deducting them from the inventory. This creates your values, right? How much that unit cost is. It then adds to the actual asset itself. General ledger coding can be added if your accounting team would like to know who to charge right away. Your meter reading, this can be used for different options, maybe the temperature of this fridge, or if this would be a vehicle, an odometer reading. Your labor and extra costs can be calculated and saved. What that has done is now tied it to the asset. If we do go back to an asset, every single one has a transaction tab as well. This will record every single work order, every single preventative maintenance that's ever happened to it, every part, every cost, every labor hour. These also can be double clicked to give you a view of why this was done and maybe what was used inside of it. But after getting all of these work orders and calculating that, this would give you a nice little forecast showing exactly life expectancy and value spent on what you put into this asset. This is a clear indicator that I have some sort of emotional attachment to this fridge and I can't stop spending money on it. Now, um, what's great about all of this is running reports now, right? We're collecting the data, but you guys want to be displayed it. So a really good report is actually our asset transaction report. All right. All of them have customization within them. And I'm going to kind of refresh this for you. Parameters, filters, layouts change what you're able to view. I can see different layouts. I specifically like to look at asset codes, and that's how it's displayed for me. So it would record the asset, every work order that's tied to it, or PM, the status, the notes, if there were costs associated with it. Now, my fire extinguishers, these are something that I just do compliance-wise, so there may not be charges. But if we scroll down to stuff that I do put money into, you'll start getting some totals that are all calculated with your labor hours as well. All of those can be exported to your accounting team. Make sure that everyone's tracking it correctly. Last, with the assets, to make life a lot easier for your staff, every asset that's input into this system, there is a barcode that is automatically generated for it. These are different reports or different labels depending on what information you want displayed. They're already sized for Dymo, different label printers that you can get from Office Depot or Office Supply Store. Again, these are then put on the asset using our mobile app. The barcode can be scanned with the asset information being provided to your tech. But that would be essentially how we add our assets. We start tracking those parts and getting those figures that everyone needs.
All right. Can you show them a bit on how to create parts and add parts just quickly?
Absolutely. Parts is again under your cabinet tab. Think of it as your filing cabinet with all of your stuff. The parts, just like assets, just like majority of the things in maintenance care, you are able to add in the top left. Every single part is going to have its own little profile, similar to assets, right? You can throw descriptions, add the vendor you typically buy them from, reorder levels and amounts with costs. Every time that SKU change happens, it is recorded within the part itself as well. Again, we can double click, get a synopsis of the task, maybe why that roller bearing was used in here as well.
All right.
We
Thank
also,
you.
yeah,
Go ahead.
no, I was going to say
Is
you
it-
can
Okay.
add it the same way and it looks exactly like the asset, adding an asset. Your part code is the only item that can't be changed. So again, using specific parts, unique coding, make sure everyone's on the same page.
All right. Thank you. All right. All right. Thank you for this, Phil. This presentation on assets, how to create them, how to manage them, and some on the parts. If you have any questions, it's time. We got a lot of time. So Q&A, you need to put your questions in the Q&A section at the bottom of Zoom. You'll see the small icon right beside share, I believe. And please do submit. Don't be shy, and we will answer all questions that you may have. Okay, we've got one already. How to use reporting. How to use reporting. Well, that's pretty vague. We probably would need some clarification, but what do you mean by that, anonymous attendee?
Even came in as anonymous.
Yes. So if you can just elaborate a bit more on your question and okay. How to use reporting on tasks. Nancy. I'm guessing it's Nancy who
Okay.
sent that one. How do you use reporting with tasks? Okay, go ahead. It's not related much on well, the asset, but you can show them.
Yeah, all of our reports right there is a new model within it. Analytics, right? Some of you would have access to this. It's the master user right now, and then be rolled out to everyone else. We have our asset reports kind of in the middle. The report I originally showed is the asset transaction report, which I can kind of run it again. This does break it down. Every single row here is a new task with the task number there. I'm just changing layouts. I think maybe that was where the confusion came. So a header would notate the asset, and then underneath is every task that happened within that asset with the costings. So hopefully, Nancy, that, oh, you guys are completing tasks. Okay. I'm answering Nancy's. I'm following her
Okay, go
thing here
ahead. You
on
can
this
probably
side.
show her how the report on completed tasks. Can you go into the reports section and not the analytics because
Analytics. Yeah.
I think most of our people don't have access to this one
So,
yet. So it's a
gotcha.
scoop. They just saw
Yeah.
something most of them don't use, but they don't have, but they will get very shortly.
So your reports here, right? It's the exact analytics just created little widgets. It's the exact same thing. So you guys aren't missing out on a lot. It's just a different engine, different widgets. So the same reports are being able to run through reports like everyone has access to. The most common one, Nancy, for you would be your tasks, your general, your task.cls. Okay. This is the most popular report. It gives you lots of different parameters, filters, and layouts within it, exporting ability. But everything beneath would lay out all of the tasks that are new, pending, and closed. And you can even bring in each maintenance tech to see if they're doing their weight or if they're not.
Right, thank you.
Problem.
Vinu asks, so maintenance care can generate a reports so my accounting team can charge back the respective customer?
Correct. So the asset transaction report that I was showing, uh, with the GL codes, if they are included in the system, this report would be run by your accounting team. It's just a column, right? So that would be here. I just don't have general ledger coding in my system, and I apologize about that, but it would be located right beside DeVito, right? In that column.
Thank you. Fred is asking, can you show the steps on getting parts into the asset?
Absolutely. So each task, right? We would just simply double click the transaction tab with the part or with the asset being added. Your parts should be listed. right? I'm just looking at parts that are linked to this asset. So it makes it a little bit cleaner instead of looking at any of my parts. So it gives me a longer list, but you would just be able to click the part, bring it over, and you can deduct one from the inventory. And that would then add it to this total.
Excellent. Thank you. Victoria, hi Victoria. If you're purchasing just one part for an asset, is it not better just to add the one part in, but not putting it into inventory?
In that scenario, depending on what your workflow is, I would, if it's just a single part, if you have the original invoice for that part, I would add it under your documents tab. So it's added here. And then I would add it as one of your extra costs. That would be
Okay,
the simplest. Instead of going through the process of adding the part to then come in here and add it to just deduct one.
thank you. Jorge is asking, can the mobile feature scan the barcode for update in inventory?
Currently, our mobile does not have that feature for the scanning of the barcodes. The barcodes only are in relation to our assets in the system.
Okay, excellent. Venue asks, can my team set reminders when they are running low on parts?
So every part has its own profile, which those are set. So when you set the reorder level, that is in reference to what SKU it gets down to. So I have hundreds. Once it gets down to 10, I always reorder 100. So at the 10 part mark, that would send a notification to the person that's deducting the part. It's a pop-up saying that the part is low, you need to order more.
Excellent. Thank you. Tyler, is there a way to select multiple assets, just like we can select multiple tasks in maintenance care so that they can be printed or saved?
Assets are a single entity per task unless you create what's called a group set. Group sets are something within the system that have limitations. So it would be best to reach out to our support team for kind of guidance on group sets because sometimes you can hit those limitations pretty quickly if it's not set up correctly. But that would act as a grouping of assets, rooms, or people. So falling in that category, if you have a group of fire extinguishers in your building, you want instead of firing off 15 separate fire extinguisher PMs, you would group set 15 together to put on one PM. But again, group sets are added. I won't get into the weeds with this. I would have you reach out to support and you can get a one-on-one session for that.
Excellent. Doug is asking, will this tutorial be available to look back to as a reference guide? Absolutely. The YouTube video will be online probably within 2 weeks. Doug, if you want to reach out to us, to our support staff, and we can keep your email and send you the link once it's up and running on our YouTube channel. Shameless plug here. You should all be registering to our YouTube channel because there's a lot of good videos in there, a lot of good tutorials for your team and yourself on this on the channel.
Mhm.
Tony, how to add an image to an asset?
So pretty simple. Once the asset is created, you would just be able to go to it. There is a set asset image above. This is where you would just be able to bring the document in, name it, and save it, and that would then produce the image for you.
Thank you. Max is asking, is there a CAN report for listing the parts that need to be ordered?
There are reports for your parts lists. If we go through our assets, parts, there's several here. So
Yeah,
I like kind of not the linked one. I like the ports parts list export. So this gives you an idea, kind of, or not an idea. This gives you all your data kind of in a more detailed report instead of expanding it all. It's just kind of single rows per part and gives you the exact quantity on hand. Um, this would be probably your best one to use. If not, your parts list is the second best. This would give you quantity on hand, kind of give you warnings if it is within as well. So
excellent.
I
It's a
want to
good one.
reorder 5. but I'm right now on 1. So there's your indicators.
Thank you. Venue, what is the best way to track paint or trim inventory? Hmm.
That is a very specific.
Yeah, item.
I would want, again, I'm going to point you towards our support team just to be able to kind of talk this one through because if you're tracking kind of liters per a can, I'd want to dive a little bit deeper into that one. And I
Yeah,
think it'd be better for just reach out to our support. Again, Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 5, you'll have one-on-one with that person.
excellent. Thank you. Any more questions? Go ahead. Please feel free to ask. We're gonna, because we've had pretty good questions since we started this Q&A. Hmm, let's wait a minute for
Hmm.
some people to write.
Yeah. While we wait, I'll just go through if there is anything that you want to try and solve on your own. The Wiki Help is a really good resource. Uh, I feel like sometimes underused. I use it all the time just to try and get on track. Uh, Keywords bring in items, so assets covering that. Everything that I've gone through is kind of laid out for you in this format as well, so you can reference back if you're a visual person. Um, it kind of sets you up as well.
Thank you. All right. It seems we don't have any more questions unless I missed one. That'll be it. I thank you all for this webinar. And oh, I got one last minute here. Max, when uploading an image to put into assets, it comes up blurry. Does this need to be changed into a different format? Hmm. We usually they don't look blurry, so
It
that's
shouldn't come in as blurry. It might
should
have
be a
just been, yeah, try a PDF format if possible, or swap it to JPEG if you did, and see if that rectifies.
yeah. Jorge is asking, can we use the classic version process will be the same? Classic being the we call it the legacy now,
Yeah,
for
it's your
practically.
classical look. And
Yeah.
yes, you are able to run through the asset the same way. There just is no
Yes.
picture available on the asset with this one. That is only with your Bolt edition.
Yes. And Jorge, just a reminder of this, and I think it's a note that is important. We're coming up with a another upgrade in the coming months, and so the classic version will be like two upgrades out of the way. I would suggest that you start trying to learn to navigate with the Bolt environment because I'm not certain that we'll keep the what we call now the legacy version or the classic version for many more years. So just a warning here. I think you would be best served if you would and you'll find many more better quality of interaction with the software when you use the Bolt version of the software.
Hmm.
All right. I think that's it. I think we answered all questions here. I thank you all again and hope if ever you need some help, like Phil said, please reach out to our support team and we'll be glad to help you. All right. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye bye.